regular session. This is the regular session of the Angelina County Commissioners Court, 10 a.m. Tuesday, September the 24th. I would like the record to reflect that all of the members of the court are present, and we are actually going to call to order and get started. This morning's, if you would, everybody rise for the opening prayer. Reverend Jeremy Yancey forgot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, if you would, just indulge me, and I'll go ahead and say the opening prayer. Father, please help us in this get together. Guide us, guide our words, guide our actions. Put your hand on our shoulder and make sure that what we do today is pleasing in your sight, fair and just for everybody concerned. We ask this humbly in your Son's very holy name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
And if you would, follow Commissioner Cheshire as we honor the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And remain standing as Commissioner Harrison honors the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, y'all be seated. This morning we've got two different public forums. The first public forum that I'm opening now is going to be for any agenda item that is not having to do with the budget. So if there's any agenda item that anybody would like to address that doesn't have to do with the budget, now would be the time to get up and address it. If none, everybody's interested in the budget, I understand. Then we're going to go ahead and close the public forum at that point. Move on to item number 5, discussion action on minutes for, it says August 10th, 2019. That is a typo. When we correct this, I would like the correction to reflect that this is September the 10th, 2019 Commissioner Court minutes. Gentlemen?
Motion to approve
With the correction.
with the correction.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda. This thing, the upstairs, the overhead projection,
Gotcha.
you see that?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
correct on the minutes.
Oh, it
itself.
is correct there?
It's correct on
Okay,
the
good.
minutes.
All right, as long as everybody understands out there, it is corrected. All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 6, discussion action on minutes for the August 16th / September 16th, 2019 Commissioners Court public hearing. Gentlemen?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 7, appearance of Jody Neal with the law firm of Simon, Greenstone, and Panettiere to make a presentation regarding the status of the opioid litigation. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. How's everyone doing today?
Wonderful.
It's so good to see you again. As the county judge said, my name is Jody Neal. I'm an attorney at Simon, Greenstone, Panettiere. My full-time job is opioid litigation. And I came here today to Angelina County to, again, say hello and to update you on the status of the litigation. So I wanted to let you know that we did amend our petition. We added in the distributors and the retailers that we previously discussed. A little birdie at the hearing on Friday said that the distributors, actually McKesson, plans to remove the Angelina case to federal court under a very bizarre and tenuous theory. So we'll be ready to fight that battle because we want to keep the Angelina case on the trial docket and in Angelina. I feel like it's going really well. I'm sure you saw in the news that Purdue has filed for bankruptcy. To that effect, I actually have a letter from my firm that I'm hand delivering to the county judge. We're all about service. So, and client care at Simon Greenstone Panettiere. And from the Purdue settlement, I feel like this settlement has given the litigation on the whole a lot of credibility. It's confirming what we all know, and that's that we're right to be taking this position against these companies to get what's due to Angelina County and to the other counties who have filed lawsuits. The Purdue settlement means that the Sacklers will not be selling opioids anymore. That's a big deal. The Purdue settlement also means that the Sacklers are paying $3 billion of their own money in addition to giving their company over to the bankruptcy trustees. And one of the main reasons why this settlement was reached is because they've been working on some rescue drugs that the experts find that will be helpful, like over-the-counter naloxone. So it's really exciting.
Sorry.
No worries. The Purdue bankruptcy, the Purdue settlement, it's a settlement and a bankruptcy. It was all arranged beforehand. They didn't just show up at the bankruptcy court, with their papers. We have counsel. We've retained counsel for the plaintiff steering committee, so Angelina is represented as a creditor against Purdue, and there's a trustee meeting happening, I believe, tomorrow, and we've got people that are there too. So we're staying on top of it and maintaining Angelina's interest. Furthermore, the negotiating class has been approved. That's not something that really affects Angelina right now, but there are 13 defendants that are authorized to use this negotiating class if they decide that they want to settle with basically the entire country all at once. And the negotiating class brings together all of the counties and cities in America, as well as all of the boroughs and hamlets and smaller political subdivisions inside the country. The negotiating class will be moving forward arm in arm with the Attorney General, we hope. We've been assured by several of the Attorneys General that moving forward together versus being at cross purposes is the way that they would like to proceed, which naturally we would like to proceed that way as well. We do believe that we're stronger together, the counties and the state. The negotiating class will be looked at as a case-by-case basis. Angelina is a little bit differently situated than a lot of the cities and counties in America because Angelina has a trial date. So maybe Angelina wants to be a part of a class settlement. Maybe Angelina wants to take its chances at trial. So we'll have to look at that as we address these issues on a case-by-case basis. And then finally, we're just going to be getting ready for trial over the next year. I want to pop into the district court and take a look at the scheduling orders and see how we can integrate Angelina into the process of working on the scheduling order at the Texas MDL level. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just getting ready to tee it up, and very thankful to have your support and all of your acknowledgement and the county's resources, and it's a very exciting thing to be a part of this process, and I'm very, very proud to be representing you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just a second. I know that you won't know for sure exactly dates and everything, but best guess, what are you thinking about as far as timeline that something may start actually dropping pretty quick?
As far as payment, that's a hard question.
No, I meant as far as possibly moving forward to making a decision as to going forward with the trial or whatever.
So Angelina is one, and we did get some clarity on this at the court's hearing on Friday. So the Texas MDL is based in Houston through Judge Robert Schaefer's court of the 151st Judicial District. You're welcome to follow along with those proceedings through the Harris County Clerk. She sends pretty regular emails if you want to keep up with the litigation that way, or I'm happy to email you. Angelina is going to be in the first batch of 4. So it's going to be Dallas as the lead case, Dallas County, with Bexar County as the backup, and then Angelina as the next lead case with Burleson County as the backup. And I believe, though it's not the most clear process right now, I believe those 4 are targeted for October of 2020.
Okay.
So these are huge lawsuits, and definitely for me, I represent Dallas County too. I've got a lot of hustle between now and October 2020. So we'll be getting Dallas County ready along with Angelina. And actually today, we're filing a brief in the Texas Supreme Court, And we're going to be answering this will probably be our final response on the issue of whether the court Judge Schaefer was proper in denying the 91A motions to dismiss. He's keeping the lawsuits alive. They don't like it. They've gone through the first Court of Appeals, and now at the Supreme Court, there have been stays and mandamuses. There's been a lot of action, and we're filing our response today. So be happy to send that to you, and if you are in the mood for some light reading, give it a gander. Any other questions?
Thank you. That answers the question. Thank you very much. And please just keep us posted.
I sure will. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right, item number 8, appearance of Michael G. Parker, Everett Griffith Jr. and Associates to discuss request approval of the final plat of Wilkinson Road Subdivision Precinct 3. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, County Judge and County Commissioners and County Clerk and County Auditor. This is a 5.05 acre tract out on Wilkinson Road over in Precinct 3. It's being proposed into 6 lots. Minimum of 0.75, which is required by our county, up to a little over 1 acre. This property goes to the center line of the existing county road, so therefore, as in our normal, we put a 25-foot road easement, and then behind it, the 10-foot drainage and utility easement. And I have talked to Commissioner Pitts about this particular proposed subdivision and would entertain any questions you have and ask your approval.
Okay. Commissioner?
I don't have any issues with it, Judge. I think it's fine. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mike.
Sally is entrusted with
Gotcha.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sir. All right. Now, item number 9, open the public hearing on the proposed Angelina County budget for the fiscal year 2020. First person on the sign-up sheet is Billy Page.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope everyone's doing well and feeling blessed today. I wanted to come before everyone this morning and just to give you a perspective that I have that is unique to me. I'm duly appointed by the state of Texas by virtue of my position as tax assessor collector to be the person who calculates the effective tax rates for all the taxing units in our county, in which we have 15. Because of this, I have an overview of the tax rates that are being considered or adopted. And I just want to share the information. This is just information only, but out of all the taxing jurisdictions that I have knowledge of their adopted or proposed rates, I'm just going to tell you what the difference is between the 2018 tax rate and the 2019 tax rate, and I'm going to tell you for every single taxing jurisdiction in this county. So the Angelina County is proposing an increase of 7 cents. Now that's 7 cents, that's not a percentage. The college is going down 1 cent. Central ISD is going down 8 cents. Diboll ISD is going down 10 cents. Hudson ISD is going down 5 cents. Huntington ISD is going down 15 cents. Lufkin ISD is going down 13 cents. Zavala ISD is going down 8 cents. The city of Diboll, the city of Hudson, the city of Huntington, and the city of Lufkin, 2 of which have not adopted their rates yet, but these are the proposed rates. They're the exact same rates from 18 to 19. City of Zavala is going up 1 cent. The water district number 1, the freshwater district, is going up 1 cent. And the water district number 4 is going up 1 cent. Additional information I have for everyone. The schools all have freezes for the over 65 residential homesteads. If the 2019 school tax rate is lower than your frozen school tax rate, you will still receive a lower tax rate tax bill for your school taxes. And as we say in the tax business, we can go down, but we cannot go up on frozen taxes. In 2003, Angelina County granted the optional freeze for the over 65 disabled persons for their residential homesteads. And anyone whose county tax is frozen will not increase anytime the county tax rate increases. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Hooten. Morning, Pam.
Good morning, sir, and sirs and ma'ams. And I think most of you know me, but I'll introduce myself. I'm Pam Hooten. I'm from Huntington. I live in Precinct 3. I'm retired due to the government shutdown, and I'm a widow. So I want to speak to you about our taxes and our budget. I've attended most of your budget meetings that you've had, and I worked for a government entity for almost 30 years. And I've done many a budget. I didn't see anything in your budget that alarmed me. I thought it was good and sound. I thought it was fair and just. I'd like to focus on 3 things: road and bridge. I'd like to see equal pay for the constables, and I'd like to see the sheriff's deputies get the raise that they deserve. You gotta have law enforcement people. You gotta have materials to work with. If we don't have anything, there's no way we can fix any roads. Growing up in Huntington, I lived on Robinson Lane. I can see Terry Pitt's grimace. It's a road that's between 2109 and 328. It's a cutoff road. It was dirt in the 60s. And it was so bad that the school district dropped us off on 2109 to walk home, a mile through the mud. There was about 24 of us had to walk home. Not every day, but a lot of days. Okay, the 4 gentlemen that were county commissioners way back then did the same thing y'all are doing. They were facing the same issues. And they took the same bullet you're taking, and they raised taxes and paved Robinson Lane and several other county roads. Now, Robinson Lane is still paved today. It's in need of repair like every other county road we've got in Angelina County. Every one of them needs something right now. We just had 7+ inches of rain. Not the 42 they got below us, but plenty. So everybody needs something. You can't fix any roads if you don't have any money in your budget to fix it with. You know, I'm encouraging you to stay with the budget that you proposed and put money back in the precincts. You've got to have materials. You've got to have the manpower and the machinery to go fix it. My brother lives on Robinson Lane still. A family property. He's got a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath brick home on 5 acres. He was one of the first ones I heard scream when he thought his taxes were going through the roof. Well, I figured him for him, and he said, "That's it?" I said, "That's it." And he said, "You're kidding." And I said, "No." I said, "How much would your tax pave out there? How much would that fix on Robinson Lane?" He said, "Maybe a foot." I said, "Okay." People, put it into perspective. Most of the school districts in the cities, they're going down on their rates, which makes ours more palatable. Raise your taxes, let's fix some roads. Let's get more sheriff's deputies in here. If we don't fix our roads, what's gonna happen? They're gonna just continue to go down. And the more they go down, the more it's gonna take to fix them. So we can't go backwards, we need to go forwards. I was helping people figure their tax rate. Am I off? I'm over, okay, I'm done.
That's all right.
Please stand by your guns and vote your budget in. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Luke? Please state your full name since I didn't give you the whole name.
Hi, how y'all doing? My name is Luke Tarbutton. I'm a local business representative. I own Shoot Perfect. I'm in Greg's district. Many people here today know me. They've heard of me. I'm a 100% disabled veteran. I run security for churches, and I train churches in how to secure their buildings. I have a very, very open ear to the community. Lots of people bring me their problems. Lots of people bring me their issues, and I'm like, I don't do nothing. Go talk to these people. But for some reason, they come to me. I know Greg Sanchez and I speak about things. Greg and I have spoken about things. Don and I know each other. We speak about things, so that y'all know that people bring me their issues. The very first thing that happened when all this hit the fan is I heard 25%. That's what everyone started telling me. And I was like, what do you want me to do? They said, well, go talk to Don. Don and I don't fish together, you know, I mean, come on. So I spoke to Greg about this beforehand. He knows the issues that the people in my area, my local area, have brought to it. I trust him, and I've spoke to Don. I trust him, and I trust y'all. Y'all have the reputations y'all have for a reason. But I want you to know that no less than 132 people have called me since this new budget hit the fan and have expressed issue to me about their taxes going up at the rates and the percentages that it is. I understand that the roads need to be fixed. I understand that budgets need to be increased. And there is no greater supporter of law enforcement here than me in this room. You can ask Greg Sanchez or any of the local people here in town. I believe blue. So there's no greater representative to support them than that. All I am here to do is express to you that there are people that aren't in this room that couldn't make it because they can't afford the gas to get up here. They can't afford to get off work. They can't afford to miss the things that they're missing right now to represent their concerns and issues. And they asked me, as a local business representative, as a 100% disabled vet in Yalls County, as a man whose word is known to be honest, as people in this room can attest, that they have a large issue with the taxes going up at the rates that they are going up with. That's all I can tell you, is that there are people that are not in this room, in this county, that have come to me by name and said, will you please say something? So that's what I'm here doing. I'm letting you know that there's a large portion of this county, especially the Hudson area and the Huntington area, that have issues. There's one family in particular, Amanda and David Goins. They have a huge issue. They're on a seriously strict budget, and I mean, it will be bad. $20 a month or $20 a year would break them. So, thank you very much for hearing me.
Thank you. Chad Kobar. Morning, sir.
Chad Kovar. I own property out at 103 East, and own property in Hudson and property in Huntington. Just want to say thank you for the time. Thank you for your work you do. I don't want to be in your shoes. So I just want to say, looking at the process as an American citizen, I think it's crucial that I take part of this process. I did that with a vote. I voted for Terry, and I plan to continue to do that, but I couldn't live with myself if I didn't stand here and say something about the property tax. I'm a small business owner, started buying rental properties in this county 5 years ago, and a tax increase will hurt me. It'll hurt me. I already have to set aside a month out of the year to pay my property taxes on each rental I own. And now you're asking me to do more with this increase. I've got a lot of friends ask me, hey, how do you get in that business? And it's been a good thing for me and my family, but you're going to hurt me, and I'm not going to be a big advocate of buying rental properties in Angelina County if my property taxes keep going up. The sheriff's department, local law enforcement, I haven't done the research on if their salary is equivalent to that of the counties around us. I know that when I worked in manufacturing and production environments, if I got over a 10% increase, it was because I got a promotion. I busted my butt and I got a promotion on my job. Now I was given annual increases of anywhere from 0 to 5%, depending on the market and depending on my work. But a big raise, and I don't know if we've been given increases. I haven't done the research, but I am for it if we're not competitive in the market, if we're losing good people to the school districts, to outside counties. I'm very in favor of an increase there. I did want to just express my concerns personally that a property tax increase, I'm not in favor of it. I do want my county roads fixed. I drive from 103 over to Huntington, taking some back roads, and I got 2 vehicles. I need front end repair right now. I've seen a good increase, a big fix on Mill Creek Road, which was terrible, and so thank you for that. But I got to put my my diesel and my little car in the shop right now because I got front end issues. But I want to leave with this. We started the meeting with a word of prayer. I consider myself a Christian, and the Word of God says in Luke chapter 14 that no man starts a project unless he counts the cost. Or if he does, he's probably a fool. And he gets halfway in the project and then he has to turn around and stop it. Or if you're a leader in the army and you don't count the number of soldiers you take to war with you, and then you see the other army coming, well, then you need to wave the white flag and sign for peace. And so I'm asking you as the county commissioners in this court that if, when you lay your head on the pillow at night, that you trust yourself, that you made the best decision, that you really counted the cost. Not an inflated cost. I'm gonna trust you, once y'all vote, that you were able to sleep with peace at night, knowing you did the right thing for this county.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Chad.
sir.
Robert Stevenson. Good morning, sir.
Robert W. Stevenson. I live in precinct 1. Greg Harrison, about 7 years ago, he ran for commissioner first time and campaigned that he would never vote for a tax increase. He didn't until he got a chance to, the way it looked. And Judge, on your voting, I can't understand it, but it's your privilege. You abstain from voting. I don't know if you could tell me if you were against it or for it. Looked like you'd want to be in one way or the other. Because your vote wasn't going to change because they already voted for it. But I think, in my opinion, you should have at least voted for it or against it. Greg Harrison told me probably 3 years ago that he made a round over his road once or twice a month. Or now once a month or 2 months during that time. Okay, he promised me, he and Todd Smith there promised me they were going to replace a culvert, which is about 3/4 caved in or plugged up. That culvert's still that way today. There's a treetop that I kicked out of the road so the cars could get around it about 4 months ago. It's still there today. And I hope all 4 of y'all road commissioners, y'all voted for this. I hope y'all live with your way y'all want about it. Because I'm 77 years old, and this is the highest tax increase in my lifetime. My family and I, we're both on a fixed income. We have to adjust our living wage for our taxes, far as on our home, the insurance on automobiles, restoration and all that. We have to adjust our living expenses. But I don't think y'all do much adjusting because y'all just ask for more money. Yep. So with all that said, I'd just like y'all to know election day will come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mark Dunn.
Well, I addressed you the other night on a different circumstance. I want to come to you with a different word today. Talk about flying pigs. Flying pigs are set out as a description to talk about things that probably will never happen. You've heard that being a colloquial East Texan, I hope. Well, I'm a pilot. And I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I am smart enough to know that pigs are agrarian, earthbound animals. They're not aerodynamic by nature. So they have to have a lot of help to get off the ground. I thought a picture would be worth 1,000 words. My mom always told me that. I'm a painter by nature as well. So I thought you'd want to see this. This hangs in my laundry room every day. Mostly to remind me to try to do the impossible every day. To help my fellow man, to help in my business, to help people save money. There's another saying about pigs wearing makeup. You can put pig on a makeup or makeup on a pig, but two things. It's still a pig and it's still ugly. Folks, this budget is a pig. It's got a lot of fat. It shouldn't have gotten off the ground at all, but it has. One thing I do know, it would have won a blue ribbon at the county fair because it's gained 25% in weight over this last year. So I would ask you, much as these people have before, look at your budget. If this were your company and your money alone, not the county taxpayers, would you have spent this money? Would you have made this increase? Would you have dived down into this budget and found the fat and trimmed it off and made it leaner? I know I do that in my company. I run a one-man show for other people. Every single day, I look at budgets and I trim them. I can tell you customers have chased me down after having bid out to 4 of the major competitors in this area and sought me out and said, Mark Dunn, I understand you save people money. Can you help us do this? So I'm going to ask all 4 of you, please take a look at your budget. Find another way to go about this. Increases are necessary over time, but not at 25% rates. That's incredibly huge. As one gentleman asked, when you lay your head on your bed at night, do you sleep well with this? I know I've laid awake. My friends laugh at me because I get up at 3:30 and 4 in the morning to study, to read, to go over things. I've looked over your budget, what I could find. The kids, when they're proud of their artwork or their grades, Mama hangs them on the refrigerator door because they're proud of it. I had trouble finding your budget. It's not posted on your county website. It's not out for people to view. If you didn't take the Lufkin Daily News, or as I did, go around back channels to get a copy of it. So I'm asking you, are you proud of this? Please consider a change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mark Hicks. Morning, Mark.
How are y'all?
Good.
I appreciate the opportunity to come down and address you today about the tax increase. I just want to start out talking this morning a little bit about industry. I was born and raised here in Angelina County. I know many of you were as well, and I, for one, understand. I sit on a committee very similar to what you guys do here, and the job's not easy. You're trying to make everybody happy, and there's only a certain amount of money to go around. You know, back several years ago in Lufkin Industries and the debacle that followed there, we lost a lot of industry in our community. I mean, well over 1,000 jobs. And that affected a lot of people and a lot of families that live here. We all know good paying jobs truly fix just about all our problems. If a man or a woman's getting a good paycheck, they can support their family, they can pay their bills, and money will bring you happiness to an extent. Recently, we've seen an increase in industry in our community, with the addition, and I've written some down here today. Twin Disc is a new company that's moving to Lufkin to open up a facility here. We've had major expansion out at Lockheed Martin, Angelina Forest Products out at Buck Creek, and Sterling Lumber, just to name a few. I would say, and this is verifiable, well over 1,000 jobs have been created or are being created right now. And I want to ask you, these various companies, when they look at Angelina County and they're deciding to come here, do you think if they open up a copy of the Lufkin Daily News and see, Angelina County pass a 25% tax increase, that's going to give them a rosy feeling about moving to this area, because that affects their business, that affects their bottom line. So I want you to consider that, because right now more than anything we need industry here, and we need good paying jobs. I want to also talk about Senate Bill 2, which was passed recently by the state of Texas, which limits the amount you can increase these taxes by 3.5%. I realize there's been a lot of talk about 8%, and I had a conversation this week with Ms. Page, our tax assessor, and she was kind enough to give me some different figures on the matter. But currently, where you are in this increase, you would exceed that 3.5% that the state is now mandated. So obviously, they knew what your average individual could stand in terms of a tax increase. They didn't say to go to that. They said, guys, you got to cap it at that 3.5%. and you guys are well above that. So I find it disheartening that with that bill coming down the line, would take effect in 2021, that we're here today doing this. It just doesn't seem right to me. I also want to ask you, in these increases, and I, for one, I own a small business, have several employees, and people are number one in your business. I mean, they make your business successful or they break your business. I'm all about taking care of our people. That's very important. And I'm also a huge proponent of law enforcement. But the county has a lot of employees here, and I question, have we done salary surveys? I mean, have we looked at some of these different surveys we're paying people right now, and maybe somebody's getting paid what they need to get, maybe somebody's getting paid more, maybe somebody's not getting paid enough. I just encourage you to look at the salary surveys. I know that, you know, and I'll wrap things up here, that Angelina County is the third lowest, I think, taxing entity, or we have the third lowest rate in a 12-county area. That's a good thing. I mean, that's a benefit to us, and I realize, in fact, very good charts on your website that breaks that down. The two above us are, I think, Sabine and St. Augustine, some of the smallest populated counties in the area. But to me, that's a huge selling point for Angelina County, and businesses looking to move here, or people wanting to live here. You know, we got a lot of people moving up here from Houston that are looking to get out of the big city for a lower tax rate. So I just want you to consider these things. And as you move forward and look at this, I just think 25% is an awful lot of a huge increase for this county. And like this gentleman back here said, 25% is the most he's seen. I'm sure that's the most anybody's ever considered raising taxes in this county, 25%. So I don't want this to sound negative, but I too will remember Election Day, because I voted for several people that sit up here today, and I voted on you to be very, put a lot of thought into how you spend people's money, and be good fiduciaries of that, and keep our taxes low, and, do what needs to be done. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Kurt England. Morning, sir.
My name is Kurt England. I've been an Angelina County resident for 15 years. Thank y'all for your time today. I'm going to make this kind of short and to the point. I took a little bit of extra time the other night, so I won't do that today. My question to each of you is, on the back of what Mark just said, could you impose this next year with the new laws and the new bill that's just been put in place, that property tax reform? I think I know the answer to that question, and I think most people in here know the answer to that question. You could not do that. I think I know that answer, and I know why. The reason why you're doing it is because this is an opportunity to grab as much money as you can before you're not able to be controlled by the taxpayer and the laws that are in place. That's the reason you're doing it this year and not next year. The answer to all of that is it's just, again, a quick money grab to grab as much as you can to try to get out before too many people recognize what you're trying to do. For far too long, cities, states, everything else have run up our taxes. We've run up our taxes because there's been no controls on you and how you do it and how you spend our money. We're to the point where you're pricing us out of our homes. You're pricing us out of the homes that we built, the homes that we raise our families in. I think about young families coming to this town, or young families wanting to have the opportunity to have a home. We're to the point now where too many people have to consider what their taxes are going to be and how high those taxes are going to be. But you have to admit, you've had a pretty good run-up. You've had a pretty good run-up up to this point. But next year, all of that is over. You're going to be limited, as Mark said, to your 3.5% increase. But this year is why I'm here today. Accountability has finally arrived with the intent to contain uncontrolled spending and uncontrolled taxes that taxpayers face and us here in Angelina County face. However, the last thing I want to ask each and every one of you, I voted for the ones that are in my precincts. I want to know how you want to be remembered. Do you want to be remembered as that gentleman that just grabbed that money from the taxpayers that elected you to office, and then you're going to make a quick run before nobody notices? Is that how you want to be known? Or do you want to be remembered as, the reason that I voted for you was that I thought you were a rational decision maker. I thought, because of what you said, you were going to be good stewards with the taxpayers of Angelina County, our money. And I think you want to be known as an honorable public servant. I think anybody would want to be known that was in your position. That's the decision that you have to make. Because with your decision, as so many people have already said, the taxpayers are certainly capable of making that decision for you come election time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Ronnie Finch.
Have a good morning.
All right, thanks, sir. Good morning to you. Kelly Dixon. Morning, Kelly.
Once again, thank you for allowing me to come speak in front of you. I can make my little diatribe here 10 seconds. How are you going to vote? Yes? No? Anybody?
Can we get an answer?
No, they can't. It was just semantics. All right, so, you know, I do think the taxpayers have, you know, grabbed your attention. Personally, I've never seen an erosion of public trust happen so quickly as what's happening here. I mean, I know you guys feel that. It's almost as if 5 or 6 men feel like they know how to manage a budget and allocate funds better than us serfs who are forced to surrender our money without any type of public vote. So I was going to address 2 things, the Sheriff's Department and Road and Bridge. Now, with the Sheriff's Department, we all, if you watch this, 90% of the people all agree they deserve a raise to get it commensurate with other counties. But the one thing I have issue with is the talking points that they're losing deputies just because of money to the schools. So my question being, how many schools are there out there that employ these people? Okay, well, 15, 20, 30, I don't know. It's just a number. We haven't lost all of them. So I've asked how much turnover has there been in this, you know, current administration. Some people say upwards of 150 people. Well, where are they all going? You know, or is it always about money? It's something that I think needs more discussion. I would say this, that I don't remember this type of issue coming up in the previous administration. I don't remember that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, I just don't remember it. I do know that the 2 new positions, one being for more coverage in the south sector, well, I mean, who up here asked anybody in the south sector? You didn't ask me if we needed any. Didn't ask the current mayor, didn't ask any of the council members, none of my family, none of my friends that live down there. So it seems to me that just kind of unilaterally take more money from us, distribute it to different entities, and have them spend it, you know, because they're smarter than we are. Now let's address, well, let me say one more thing. Why is the deputies' raises happening now? Is it because could it be it's an election year? Could that be it? I honestly, I don't know, but it's worthy of more discussion. I think the budget for the Sheriff's Department has increased over the past couple of years at about $600,000, I think. Boy, that 3 minutes goes fast when you're up here.
When you're having fun.
When you're having fun.
Yes.
You know, my question would be, well, why wasn't it distributed then, you know, in the past couple of years? Why now? Listen, in closing, and I'll get out of y'all's hair, this will be the last time. All that we want from any public servant is for you to do what you're attempting to force on us, for you to do more with less, okay? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Johnny? I guess, good morning. Yes, ma'am.
Johnny, I guess. I've never done nothing like this, so I'm really shaking. I did go speak with the tax appraisal yesterday. Got a copy because I had misplaced my estimated tax, and the taxes had already gone up from last year. It's just under $5. I can live with that. But my income is $928 a month. Now, my goal was to work 2 more years until I got to, I don't want to say it because somebody's in the room, To age 70. I got hurt real bad. I have a lot of diagnoses on my back. I can't stand straight. Even my feet are already numb from sitting. Now, I know you don't care,
We do.
but my 928, I put $85 a month for real estate taxes. I deduct it every month from my checkbook. I'm an old-fashioned checkbook person. I deduct $35 a month so I can pay my auto insurance every 6 months and save a little bit there. My medicine's $150 a month. My tithe is also on there. That doesn't count groceries and utilities. Now, are you gonna feed me when you decide to raise this? I mean, the people that have talked before me, they have said it all. How can you go home and sleep at night knowing that you do not care about us? And you don't, especially one person that is always sleepy in here. I mean, it's like, let me go to sleep, I don't want to listen to these people. That's offensive to me. So, I beg you, and I did go to the tax office, and by the way, where I was going, she was wrong, because I'm over 65, I cannot claim the disability anymore. Getting a letter from 2 doctors does not work. Getting a letter from Social Security. Once you're 65, your disability does not count toward a tax decrease. So whatever she said a while ago, she was wrong about that, unless the lady lied to me yesterday at the tax appraisal office. I don't know how you sleep, but I'm gonna know these names, and somebody in here can tell you I'm very good at names and faces, and you won't get my vote if y'all vote this in.
Thank you, Johnny. Kim Jarman. Kim Jarman. Must not be here anymore. All right. Lynn Atkinson.
Judge, I'm going to object to Lynn Atkinson's time, his personal attacks on a member of this court should be removed. I spoke with counsel, and I make a motion before this court that his time be removed.
Mr. Atkinson, can you speak to the agenda item only? Okay. Counselor? Do you have any objection to?
Judge, if you're asking me if I have an opinion on whether he can speak at this point, I think he is entitled to speak at this point. If he, I'm not aware of all of the history here, but if he steps outside the rules of procedure that the court has as far as what's permissible on subject matters and ventures into areas that involve, demeaning and personal attacks on a commissioner, his time could be limited or canceled. So that's where I am on it.
Commissioner, I understand.
Withdraw my motion to object.
Thank you, sir. All right. Mr. Atkinson, good morning.
Good morning. First off, I want to thank the state for passing the new law allowing us to speak here. That's why we're here, guys. It really is. Second off, I want to apologize for last time. I was out of line. I'm going to try to stay on the budget here. One thing that I see, we got this budget, we got last year's budget. I see a communication gap between the commissioners, the foremen, and your workers. Okay? Your workers show up for a paycheck. That's all they're there for. There's no motivation, there's no pride, there's no teamwork, there's no encouragement. That has to change, guys. Y'all have to work on that. There's ways to fix that, to make them feel like a team, okay? I'm gonna start in a spot that I believe in that budget can be cut, the fat, and that's on some road repair. And it's gonna start with the ditches full of dirt, the water sitting there, and it undermines under the road until the road collapses underneath the garbage trucks and the school buses. Them roads weren't built to take that weight. When that collapses, then the field's full of water, and then you could have a 40-foot mud hole, okay? So you finally come down there and you clean it out with a new tractor, John Deere tractor, and throws the dirt out of the way. Your backhoe cuts the little grooves, drains the water, and once he gets the water, he reaches over and grabs all that slop, pulls back in the hole, and they dump 3 loads of rocks in there and smooths it out. Okay. No compaction, just run across it, smooth it out, and left, okay? I don't know if you have a compactor, but it doesn't matter. You use the traffic that goes across that road for 2 or 3 months. You come back and you smooth that patch back out. The reason is that every time that truck or school bus or any other big vehicles goes across a patch and jumps on it and jumps off it, they cause a hole on the other end. It's a bounce hole. So if you don't fix that, you get 2 more holes. So your 2,000 you spend here just went to 6, and it just keeps growing because the road's like this. So it takes a grader to come in there, dump half a load, smooth it back out so you're not bouncing the trucks. That's where you're losing so much money. You've got to keep them ditches clean. We had 2 dry years, 2 wet years. Them wet years hurt. We got a lot of stuff done in the dry years, but we didn't keep the ditches clean to take care of all that rain we got, and that hurt us. It hurt the foundations under them roads. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you ain't never been out there behind some of them lime trucks when you're liming the road, they're fixing the subgrade, and go home and turn your eyelids upside down and scrape the dirt and the lime dust out, you ain't worked yet. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Karen Gilcrease. Karen no longer here.
She's outside.
Would somebody say something to her? It's all right. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to ask Sheriff Sanchez, how much is the base pay for your officers?
39.
Perfect. And they start at how much an hour? Not very much, right? Okay. Anybody in here want to put a target on and stand in front of a bunch of drugged up morons for that much money?
I've done it for less.
Not talking to you. Seriously. These guys need a raise. Not so much this herd up here. That's right. These guys. So, tax increase or not, if they don't get a raise because they're pouting, they all need to go. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. All right, that is the last person that we had on the public hearing. Now, item number 10, we're going to close the public hearing on the proposed Angelina County budget for the fiscal year 2020. Number 11. Discussion action on the adoption of the fiscal year 2020 budget for Angelina County. We're going to have 3 different options here. I'm going to mention the options, and then it's going to be open for discussion. Try to make it as clear as possible what the options are, and if there's any questions, just, pass it on to me. Option number 1, the original budget that is posted on the website at the same tax rate as last year, 0.437121.
I'm going to put a motion to approve.
How are we gonna divide this money up?
I hadn't got to the other budget yet, okay? Let me finish, let me get to all 3,
All right.
please. All right, that's option number 1. That budget is on the website.
That was the original.
That's the
Yeah.
original
Budget.
budget that's on the website. Okay. Option number 2 is the original budget that was posted on the website with all the things that it has, plus one change, and that was the $2,080 increase in across-the-board salaries. Okay. That particular tax rate would be the same as the 2018 tax rate the year before. That would be 0.458803. That's 2 years back. It's not a big tax rate, but anyway, increase. But anyway, that's option number 2. Option number 3 is a proposed budget with all the things added that have been voted on in all the workshops that we had leading up to this point. That particular tax rate is the 0.50250. That's option number 3. That's the one that's got everything in it. All right. Now, open it up for discussion among the commissioners. Guys, those are the 3 options that we have. We've done diligent work on the tax rates to make sure that we can cover everything that we're doing. Y'all have studied the original proposal. The original proposal plus the 2,080 across the board raise for all the county employees and all the changes.
Let me make a statement, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. You bet.
I want to back up and say one thing. I'm very much so for law enforcement. But I'm also very much so for getting our roads fixed. Our roads are in terrible shape. But in the last few days, I have been called everything in the book. And that's not what I'm here for. When we started, we had this first proposed budget. There was a few entities that were getting a few things that we need. Not what we want, but what we need. But what I done is I said, okay, let's at least look at everybody. We can't just, get a few here and not look at everybody else. But people, this thing grew to astronomical proportion. I mean, it's big. I can't afford that. I pay taxes just like everybody in this room. And I can't afford to pay that much more taxes. But, and I've always said, I don't like taxes. Never have, never will. Sorry. I don't want to pay taxes. I wish we all didn't have to pay taxes. But the thing about, we got to pay some. But the thing here is, I guess we're going to have to just back up, regroup, and let's see what we can get done with what we make. So, and I'll go ahead and say this much. I think what we done here is opened up a big old can of worms.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, I'm glad to see that, because it shows that we have people in our community that care.
Yes.
So, and I would hope that somebody in this room would think I would care, because I don't like where we was headed. But too, though, it also brings up the deal to where, all right, we got to start looking for options here. Not this year, but let's look for options here of how to regroup and redo. Get some better ideas of how to get things done. But that's all I got to say. And I hate it for everybody that works for the county. I really do. But too, though, we've got to stay to where our citizens can afford to do what we're trying to do here. So like I said, I got a motion on the floor. So if y'all want to go from there, that's fine with me, so.
I'm gonna let everybody else
Yeah, that's
talk
fine.
too, but your motion on the floor.
Was to
not-
stay, was the first one that you put out in the paper that day.
The first one that put out in the paper does not include the 2000 and.
Right.
Okay, all right. All right,
Well, I don't
Commissioner
think
Kennedy.
anybody that's sitting up here that does not support law enforcement. We all do that. I've been with the county numerous years, and I've had people that were kin to me that were in law enforcement, so I'm always for law enforcement. I'm probably gonna, I told somebody that I was gonna vote for the 50250, which is a tax increase, a major tax increase. But the thing is that we're not exempt from that either. That's gonna affect us. But that's gonna affect us too. So we all gonna have to pay that. Everybody in here has to pay that. It's gonna affect a lot of people inside of my precinct. But I'm trying to do what's best, because we're trying to do something for everybody in the county that works for the county. We're trying to do for the county, not for just the sheriff's office, not for just the road and bridge. We're trying to do for the county attorney's office, the district attorney's office, the elections office, numerous offices. We want to do something for everybody and for all the employees.
Okay. Commissioner Pitts?
I'd just like to say that I have really struggled with this one too. I have scoured over these requests, and I can honestly say that I think every one of these requests are legitimate. I mean, they're needs that the county needs. We're at a 10-year-old tax rate, and, you know, it's a good thing to keep the taxes down, but when the roads and everything's falling down around you, I don't know if it's something to brag about. But, that being said, I think it is too much to try to do it all at one time. I don't know what the compromise is. That's what we gotta do today is hammer that out, so. That's all.
Commissioner Cheshire?
Well, I too brought a couple of little props up here. And these represent types of equipment that we use. Does anybody in the room care to put a price tag on what one of these machines cost? Anybody?
Piece of machinery.
Anybody?
Depends on the piece of machinery.
Exactly.
Put a price.
Mr. Dunn, put a price on this piece of machinery
I
right
don't know
here.
what you have, don't know the model, so I'm not gonna sit here and make a wild guess.
Well, that's what it'd
You
be.
need to be specific if you're gonna ask a question.
I did. I asked a question.
No, you said a piece of equipment.
This
That's
is a
lunchbox.
replica of a Caterpillar 140M motor grader.
I could probably Google that pretty quick,
Exactly. Okay? Something over 300,000?
probably.
Okay? A 310 SL John Deere backhoe. Okay? You wanna Google that one?
Sure good.
Yeah, about 120,000. We have to have these pieces of machinery to operate with on a daily basis. Okay? Precinct 4 is unique in Angelina County because I run 2 precinct barns that are 30 miles apart. Okay? I have employees that I split 5 and 5. Okay? That's 2 crews. Those break out into pairs of 2 each, most of the time, and sometimes 3 to a team to go out and do work. We've resurfaced roughly a little over 5 miles of road this year with the funds available. There's 234 miles of road in precinct 4 that we have to maintain. When I came into office, the hardtop road budget was $164,000. this year, the hardtop road budget, through being, money management and being frugal and cutting corners and cutting costs and, just through money management practices, we increased the hardtop road budget in precinct 4 to $473,000. That's what we're operating on this year. So, and that's without any tax increase that we had. We hadn't had any tax increase in road and bridge. In fact, we've been cut. Road and bridge, since I've been in office, and this is my 5th budget process, nearly every year we get what's left over from the budget and the money that's available from tax funds. There was an opinion poll that was done earlier this year by Lufkin Daily News, and 60% of the people polled in that opinion poll said they wanted roads fixed, and they didn't care what they had to do to get roads fixed. Those are the people that we represent as well, not just y'all, okay? And I find it a little disingenuous that some of the people that have spoke in these past 3 public hearings have called me up personally requesting road work be done. Several of them in the real estate industry called me up and said, Commissioner Cheshire, can you get this road resurfaced because it would increase the value of this house I'm trying to sell. But yet, they want to stand up here at this podium and tell me, don't raise taxes. Now, I find that pretty disingenuous, to be quite frank. To fix the problems that we face in Angelina County are vast. They're not cheap. Everything from the district attorney's office down to road and bridge, which I consider road and bridge to be the bottom of the barrel. We literally feed off of what is left in hardtop road in the budget has been given. Even in the proposed budget, road and bridge budget has been cut in the proposed budget. You know, we simply cannot operate on the funds that are just left over. And that's the reason why we've proposed the budget that we proposed. Everybody wants to complain about not getting services, not getting law enforcement. Folks, it has to be paid for, okay? And the people sitting in this room and people sitting at this table have to pay for it. And it comes from property owners. Mr. Kovar, I know him personally, and I know several other people personally, and we've talked on personal levels before. You know, he has real estate. He's going to raise his rent on his renters to cover the cost of the tax increase. It's going to be passed on. All these costs are going to be passed on. The cost of homeowners.
I can't do that with people down the street lower than that. Big business. I wouldn't pass on my house. I can't just raise rent on people.
You own your house, Mr. Dunn.
I do. Who do I get to pass that to?
You have to support it the same as I do.
You're right. That's why I came and spoke against it.
I mean, your taxes are gonna be raised the same amount as what mine is gonna be raised. Okay, I'm gonna be paying the same thing.
Didn't get a raise with mine.
I'm sorry?
I didn't get a raise with mine.
I didn't get a raise either, okay? I mean, okay, the judge is saying wrap it up, I'm, you know. I could go on and on, you know. At what point do you say, okay, it's acceptable to raise my taxes to provide the services that you're requesting?
A little bit of time.
Yes.
Okay.
For the past 10 years, there's been none.
Little bit of time.
Nobody's trying to hurt anybody.
But you got.
Every penny taken away from a property owner hurts. I get that. It hurts me. It's gonna hurt me about the $90 a year. That's what it's gonna hurt me. Okay? Because I figured it out. I mean, other people who have higher value houses, yeah, it's gonna hurt them a little more. People who have lower value houses, it's gonna hurt them a little less. But at what point do we say we're going to provide the services that our county needs to move forward? And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Judge, there's a motion on the floor.
There is a motion on the floor. The motion on the floor is option 1, which was the original budget and does not reflect the 2080 across-the-board raise. Is there a second?
I second that motion, Judge.
You second that motion. All right. We do have a motion and a second for the original budget that was proposed. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And just a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We will need, oh, that's fine. No, I asked. We will need an actual count
Yeah.
individually. And everybody, and Mr. Stevenson, you're completely right. I need to be in that count, sir. You're correct.
Thank you.
Precinct 1?
Aye.
Precinct 2?
No.
No. The judge is aye for precinct 1, for option 1. Precinct 3? Aye. Commissioner?
I'm in objection. I would like to note that this proposed budget, that it is a tax increase also.
It is
And
the
I'm
same
voting-
tax rate as
It is a
last year.
tax increase of 3.3%, Judge. You can sit over there and try to fool the people
Commissioner?
all you want to, but it is a
Commissioner?
tax increase.
I don't know how it can be confusing when it's the same tax rate as last year. The tax increase is there. I simply stated that the same tax rate as last year.
That's true. It is the same tax rate as last year,
So
but the
why are
effect
we
of
arguing about this?
the effect, because it's a tax increase.
Okay. All right.
It's a tax increase.
We have,
We understand.
we have a motion and a second on the floor. And we have voted all except for precinct 4.
I objected.
You object, okay. We've got 3 for and 2 objection. Motion passes. All right, we have an accepted budget. All right, I'll give just a minute for the room to clear, and then we can go on with our business. All right, now, Number 12, vote to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the 2020 fiscal year budget for Angelina County. That tax rate will be .437121. Precinct 1,
Yes.
precinct 2,
No.
no. Judge is aye. Precinct 3, aye.
No.
Okay. 3-2, vote is recorded. All right? Motion passes. We do have the property tax increase reflected in the 2020 fiscal year budget for Angelina County. Discussion action number 13, discussion action on the adoption of an order setting the 2019 tax rate for Angelina County. All right. The order will reflect .437121 as the tax rate. Precinct 1.
Aye.
Precinct 2.
No.
Judge is aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. Precinct 3 is aye, and precinct 4 is no. All right? Motion passes. Item number 14, discussion action on the adoption of the Angelina County Certified Salary Schedule for fiscal year 2020. Gentlemen, y'all have that schedule in front of you. What's your pleasure?
That was to retain Allison and Bass, is that correct?
Oh, no. No, we're on number 14,
Oh,
the
it's-
adoption of the certified salary
Oh,
schedule.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, should be. Do what? Supposed to be. The salary schedule? No copy? All right.
Is it on the?
It'll have to be
is.
reissued, wouldn't it?
Do what?
Well, it'll change, won't it?
The salary schedule.
Not the elected officials.
Right, this is not the elected official ones, this is the regular, schedule. Now, it's not going to include the 2,080 raise, so it will be basically the same schedule as what we had.
We'll have to adjust the state mandated,
Right.
but other than that, I think it's.
The longevity pay is in there, correct?
The longevity pay, plus the state will have some changes with the judge's salary district and everything. But other than that, do you feel good enough about it where we can go ahead and approve it?
Can we prove it without seeing it?
Right.
Is this something we can get off a computer pretty quick?
It's gonna take a few minutes for the auditor to be able to, well, actually, it's gonna take longer than that adoption of the certified salary schedule. Can we delay that until the next, or, Counselor, does that have to be approved this week? With the changes in the tax rate and the changes in the, budget adopted, we don't have those exact figures.
Judge, I don't have the statute right with me, and off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that you're required to approve those before the budget is actually filed. The approved budget is filed with the clerk's office. But I'm not 100% certain of that, just off the top of my head. I'd recommend, if it's possible, that you go ahead and work those out and approve them today. Maybe
Okay.
we can move that agenda item down the list and reconsider.
Didn't, when I filed the proposed budget, didn't we file a salary schedule at the same
Yes.
time?
No, it wasn't on the website. but
It
we
wasn't
have
on the
it.
website.
It backs up,
It was,
but it's in the budget itself, but there's
Right.
still a couple of things that's gonna have to be
right.
adjusted.
Yeah, the proposed budget has the salary schedule in it, but there's a couple of things that are going to change, very, very slightly, but there is gonna be some changes in it. Okay, thank you, Counselor. I feel like
We need to
I agree
recess.
with the counselor, we need to go ahead and approve the salary schedule. There hadn't been that much of a change.
I can go print it off.
Okay.
I mean, that's something we can't vote on unless we see it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I hate to be a
All
pain.
right, we're gonna go get it printed off. Now, for the record, back up, this was put in front of me, a vote to, on number 13, discussion action, while we're waiting on the auditor to get back. Number 13, discussion action on the adoption of an order setting the 2019 tax rate for Angelina County. I'm gonna read this. A motion to adopt an ordinance, resolution, or order setting a tax rate that exceeds the effective tax rate must be made in the following form. I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.437121, which is effectively a
Tax increase.
I've got to do the percentage. Hold on just a second. Hold on a second. Okay, which is effectively a 0.02633 change exceeding the effective tax rate increase, percentage increase in the tax rate.
It doesn't say change.
Exceeds the effective tax rate, percentage increase in the tax rate.
Increase in tax rate.
Right, 0.02633. All right? Thanks, sir.
There also wasn't really a motion in a second.
Ms. Huff, did you
Yes.
get that?
No one made the motion or a second, you just asked how
On
each one
what?
voted.
On which one?
The order of the tax rate. I have to.
Oh, on the order? Okay. On the adoption, after reading that order, we need a motion and go through that for a vote for record. Precinct 1?
Say it again.
All right.
I know I heard
Let's see
that.
that order again. All right.
But you're
Okay.
doing the motion now?
Yes, hold
The
on
judge
just a
is
second.
making the motion.
Okay.
All right. I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.437121.
That's incorrect reading.
Commissioner Cheshire, I'm
Sir,
reading
it
right
has to,
off of
it
this.
is by law that you have to read it word for word. Am I
This-
wrong, Counselor?
This is word for word according to what was handed to me.
There is a statutory form in this.
It is a
in the tax
statutory
code,
form.
Judge, but whether you're,
Is this
I
one not
forwarded
correct?
to all of the court yesterday.
That's something I printed off.
So that should be it if that's what it's.
Okay, well, that's what I'm reading from. All right? I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.437121, which is effectively a 0.02633 percentage by which the proposed tax rate exceeds the effective tax rate percentage increase in the tax. This is confusing. I move that the property tax rate be increased by an adoption of a tax rate of 0.437121, which is effectively a 0.02633
Percent increase in
percent
tax.
increase by which the proposed tax rate exceeds the effective tax rate increase in the tax. That doesn't make any sense. That reads screwy. What we're doing is we're going up a 0.02633 over the effective rate. Bottom line.
The effective rate is 0.404.
40488.
Now, Coach,
Certainly.
here's on the language, that, I think you're reading part of what's in the
Right.
parentheses there, so you actually
was.
read that, is effectively a 1% increase in the tax
Okay.
rate.
All right. This is a little different.
Okay.
This is a little different. All right, I see where the mess up. I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.437121, which is effectively a 0.02633% increase in the tax rate. That makes sense.
That's correct.
Thank you, sir. All right. Vote for record on this. We need a motion and a second.
Motion. Approved.
Motion to approve? And a second.
Second.
Second. All right, we do have a motion and a second.
Okay,
Now,
do Pitts or,
Vote
did you
for,
second first?
vote for record.
Pitts, okay.
Vote for record. Precinct 1.
Aye.
Precinct 2. Precinct 3.
Aye.
Precinct 4.
No.
And the judge is aye. All right. We are ratified. Thank you after all that. All right, now, item 14, we're waiting a minute, waiting for the certified salary schedule to get back. If anyone does need to take a break, you're welcome to take a break for just a moment.
Motion to recess.
Motion to recess.
Second.
All right, we are recessed.